Hi, my name is Lakin Lacasse, and I was going to do an instructional video of how to make a workout tank top from an old shirt, preferably a larger shirt on you. Have you ever wanted new clothes, but so many old ones? Hold on. Okay, here's the list of materials. I know so many of us have always wanted new clothes, but have so many old ones that we can't wear anymore. Well, this will help you revamp your old clothes and turn them into something new. Okay, the first material, or the first set of materials, is an old shirt. The next would be scissors, preferably fabric scissors so it can actually cut through the material. Next would probably be a crayon, just to make sure that you mark in the right spots where you're actually wanting them to be. And the next is tape. You can use masking tape, you can use any kind of tape, just do not use duct tape, please. It can get on the clothes, the residue can stay on the clothes, and it can ruin the shirt. Okay, so keep the scissors out of reach of children because they can get cut, and make sure that you're careful with the scissors so you don't get cut as well. We're going to start out by laying the shirt out flat on a hard surface. Then you get your scissors, of course. Have your crayon ready. We won't need this until closer to the end. So what I want you to do is start with the first sleeve. It doesn't matter which sides. Let's see. Start about 2 to 3 inches from, since I don't have a ruler, I use right here on my finger. We learned that in school, that it's close to about 1 inch. So just approximately 1 inch from the neckline, and go ahead and do it from the seam line. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to mark right here on the shirt. If you can't see it, kind of hard for you to see because I'm using a white crayon, but I'll mark all the way through it here in just a second. Then what you do is you mark it all the way down, kind of making it a curve. And it can be a rough line. It doesn't matter what it looks like because you're going to be cutting it anyways. But make sure that you cut it down below this seam line for the bottom of the armpit, right here. We don't want any of those seams to be in there. So I'm going to cut mine about right here. Then go ahead and here's the line. You can see it a little bit better. So you go ahead and start cutting right where the line is. Okay, so we have that cut, that sleeve. Then you set aside the sleeve for later. Okay, so instead of having to redo all the measurements just in case anything is wrong on it or different from the other side, you can flip your shirt halfway down the middle to see exactly where you would need to cut. There we go. And then you just trace the lines on down. unfold, and repeat. Okay, and again, set aside for later. Okay. Then we're going to cut the seam from the neckline completely off. Go ahead and keep it like you can do both sides at the same time. So cut all the way down here from the seam. Okay, then after you have the neckline off, let's see, we go to the bottom of the shirt. Here's where the tape comes in handy. What you'll do is you'll get a piece of tape that covers the entire bottom of the shirt. You don't have to use the big clear tape. You can actually just use regular wrapping tape. I just didn't have any, so this will have to do. Okay, and then you want to measure your own measurements. You want to do your own measurements on this for how high you want your flange. So I'm going to do mine about right here. Okay. Then at the bottom, we're going to cut the seam of the bottom completely off, because you wouldn't want the seam down here and then, you know, no seam up here. It would just look tacky. So we're going to cut that seam. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's okay, because you're going to cut this down here anyways. You're going to cut little strips, and then you're going to pull it to make sure that it and if you see in the back, I didn't cut off some of the seams, so let me go back and do that. But you're going to pull the material to make the flange anyways. There we go. Okay. Now, with the crayon, once again, and I use white because it makes it easier to see on the shirt, you cut about 1 centimeter's worth, and I just use my pinky, so pinky's length. And they don't have to be perfect, just, you know. After you have all the markings done, that's whenever we'll enjoy the cutting again. So first you will start at the side. So there's no closure, that it can all be open for an actual flange. So cut all the way up to the tape, but do not cut on the tape. Do not cut the tape. If you do, that's okay. It's just going to be a little bit further up. Make sure that you actually have sharp enough scissors. That's why we prefer the fabric scissors, to actually cut through the fabric in the first place. If not, you'll have a huge mess. If you want to, while you're actually doing this, you can go ahead and pull the material just to kind of to make the flange. And you see it'll actually curl up by itself. Just lightly tug on each one. But make sure that you hold on to the tape while you do it, or the back can come down a little bit further. I'll put the shirt back momentarily. And that's how the flange will look. Okay, after you get finished doing the flange, we're going to be cutting the back of the shirt. So I'm going to flip this over and I can get the tape out of the way because we don't need it anymore. And we can actually go ahead and take the tape off because you're finished with it. Okay, then we're gonna cut on the back. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the top and we're gonna cut it into a V. Okay. So you start up here where it starts to curve. Make sure that you do not cut the front or you'll have to start over. Really just basically throw it away unless you want a low cut top. I'm not going to do it too much because I have my Bible verse right here and I don't want it to go away. If you want to, you can mark it, but it really doesn't matter because you're going to be tying it anyways. Okay, so then you have your V. Alright, then in the instructions it said to save the shoulder. Okay, then what you do is you just get a piece. It doesn't matter if it's the seam or, you know, whatever. And you just kind of cut about an inch's worth. I'm not going to use the seam, so I'm going to actually cut that off first and set it back to the side. Enough so you can take each of the arms and you tie it in a knot, just enough to where you can tie a knot. Okay, you can go all the way down to the V by cutting off more material and just doing knots all in them, all the way down. But I'm just going to do this one. So then after that, you have your workout shirt. Thank you for watching.